Everyone enjoying themselves so far? Yes. All right, so I know we're at the end of the day, so just to get the energy up a little bit, I'm just going to ask you all to stand for a moment, if that's okay. We're going to do a little bit of an exercise just to get ourselves in a listening mood. Yeah. Okay. This is a really fun exercise. What is it called? I don't know. Let's just call it shake it out. Okay. Let's call it shake it. We're going to shake it out. We're going to start with our left hand, then our right hand, then our left foot, and then our right foot. Okay. And we're going to do that in counts of 5. Okay. Right. So it's going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2. Anyone done this before? No? You've done it before? So give yourself a little space. Yeah, if you've done some acting, you've done this in an acting warm-up class, right? Is that right? Okay. Are you going to do it with us today? All right, just like I've done it plenty of times. You can't do a sit down. All right, so come up here. You do it with us since you've done it before. Right, just stand with us, okay? All right, so we're going to count down on each arm and each leg until we get to 1. Okay? Then we're going to go 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. We get it. You're going to do the whole exercise before you do the exercise. I just want to make sure they knew what I was talking about, okay? All right. Ready, set, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. You guys are crazy. All right. All right, thank you guys for participating in that with us. Well, give yourselves a round of applause for your first day at Dream Kids Expo. Your first day at the very first Dream Kids Expo. So this is, it's really historic because this is going to be big like, what's a big convention that happens? Bigger than Essence Fest. For kids. Oh, so I guess not that big. No. Okay, I don't know. What's a big convention or expo that happens everywhere that you know of? Comic-Con. Okay, yes. This is going to be the Comic-Con for kids happening every year. And then you guys are the first one that has ever happened. And this is the first day. You're making history! So I know, like everyone here, you have big dreams and you want to do a lot of things. And that means that you want to be history makers, right? And even maybe for some of you parents that maybe you've thrown your dreams away, or you said, listen, I'm a parent now, I got too much to do already. I got to cook the food, I got to pick up the kids, I got to iron the clothes, I got to do everything. So now I'm just going to make their dreams come true. That's my life's purpose now, right? But I want to encourage you that even the dreams you may have as a parent, you can still fulfill those too, right? Yes. You guys believe that? Parents, can I get some noise in here? Can you fulfill your dreams? Your dreams can still come true too, right? You're looking at your kids sometimes and you're like, wow, I want them to have everything. I want them to be successful, and rightfully so. That is the duty. And also, and not just the duty, the passion of a parent, right? The desire of a parent. But sometimes we lose ourselves in that too. Mm-hmm. And you should also have your dreams come true, right? And it's possible. It's still possible. And it may look a little different than you started out years ago, you know, or it may just transform a little bit, but that's okay, okay? So but it's still good to dream. With that said, we're not here today to tell you how to make it, right? You know, we're still trying to make it. Every day, right? Pushing towards some sort of goal, and in most cases, in industries like ours, like entertainment and the arts overall. You know, you may attain to some level of success that other people on the outside see, and they're like, you're doing pretty good. But you are like, but it's not what I desire. I still got ways to go. And people say, great job, what you're doing. And you're like, yeah, but I still want to get over there, you know, and you don't take enough time to celebrate yourself. So, and that's one of the things we're going to talk about, because it's so easy to get wrapped up in where you want to be that you forget where you are currently. Right? Because it's not where you used to be. And you're not living in the moment. We're going to get there in a second, but we're not here to tell you how to make it. What we are here is to encourage your journey, and I want to read this how I wrote it down, just so that it comes across. Encourage your journey so much so that you stay in it long enough to become who you are meant to be. Right? Not how to make it, but to become who you were meant to be. So all of that is grounded in purpose, right? What is the purpose for my life? Have you thought about your purpose lately? Ever? Right? Sometimes we get so wrapped up in the day-to-day things, we forget the supervision for whatever it is our life is meant on.
And sometimes we get so wrapped up in success and making it that we forget that making it in true success is really tied to operating in your truest purpose.
Right. What am I contributing to the world? There was a young lady who was interviewing us for social media for Dream Kids. And she said, what do you expect to get out of Dream Kids? And I heard the word get so loudly, and I said, well, this is what I want to give to Dream Kids, right? So there's two folds to that, because you are here to get something, right? Right? You're here to get education. You're here to make connections. You are here to get vital skills that you're going to
Maybe
need.
if you're not from Florida or a sunshine state, you're here to get a little sun, right? Some palm trees.
Right. But also, you have to walk into a space understanding that you have something to give. And that is part of your purpose. You know, what am I bringing to the earth at large? What am I bringing to a room whenever I walk into it?
And that giving can be something as small as a smile. As small as a handshake and a hug that can completely change someone's life.
You never know how you're affecting someone. You may not see it in that moment, but they may walk away from you, look at themselves different. They may walk away from you with a brighter disposition than when they came to you in the first place.
More encouraged to walk in their purpose simply because they encountered someone operating in their purpose.
I saw this little this thing where this girl was reciting a poem, and she had tears welling up in her eyes as she was reading it. I'm just going to tell you one little piece from the poem, but the whole poem was like this, like these little things that you can do throughout your day that may affect people in great ways that are sometimes seen or unseen, right? And she said that as this woman was washing her hands in the bathroom, she looked up to the woman to her left, and she said, my goodness, your hair looks so beautiful today. And the woman said, she hadn't been told that she was beautiful in any form in a long time. In that moment, that woman walked away, and she went home that night, and she, for the first time in years, looked at herself and said, wow, I am beautiful.
A simple contribution from a stranger that just told her and reminded her to look herself in the mirror and recognize how beautiful she was.
So we all have something to give in small ways, and we all have a purpose for our lives. And when we're going after the purpose, success is undeniable. You're going to have success because you're being driven by that purpose, and your purpose has to be played out in the world.
We were made and created with a very specific purpose to be put here on this earth. So you have to imagine that the creator who created you, that as you're working in the purpose he created you for, you will begin to see success in that particular
He's going to platform you because you are in purpose. You know what I'm saying? You're making the effect that you're supposed to make in this world.
All right, so we're going to start off with our introduction that we do all the time. We do this on Zoom calls. We do this in meetings, and it usually gets people excited. Okay?
And guess, when we discovered this very thing that we're about to do, and I'm saying this for a reason, when we were in the 11th grade,
No, maybe the 11th.
it was the
10th grade.
It was the 10th grade. We were in an entrepreneurship class. You guys know what entrepreneurship is? Okay. I was thinking of talking to kids. Like, tell me, what do you think it is? You know, but you guys all know. Okay, so we were in an entrepreneurship class, and we were creating a business for the first time.
And we had put together this huge business plan. It was huge for us because it was maybe like 13, 14 pages.
And it was like, 13, 14 pages? You want me to write 13, 14 pages of what? You know,
right? And it was this plan that sort of outlined our business at the time. And at that time, our clothing brand was called Twin Sports.
And we were making hats, headbands, and t-shirts that had like glitter writing on it. We were personalizing with people's names. We would sell them for $4 a piece. We were making a killing, right?
We were, because the materials cost less than $1.
$1.11, if I remember correctly.
Exactly.
Okay, so we had these classroom mentors. In the classroom mentors, we did our first little run-through of our presentation. And they said, that's terrible, you know, in nicer words, right?
They said, you could do better than that. You gotta slap some cheese on it, you know, make it a little more inviting. You know, invite the people into the presentation. Don't just talk at them.
So we went home and we practiced, and we practiced. And the first thing that we came up with was this.
I'm Bruce.
And I'm Glenn. And we're Twin Sport. We make you look at her reaction.
You see? Some of you guys are looking like,
That's very, very cheesy. And that's the point. That's the point, right? And so our tagline was, we make you twinkle and glisten, because we used a lot of glitter and like all this fabric paint, and it was just really sparkly product.
So we did that in the 11th grade. We got a great reaction from the people we were presenting.
Everyone we were presenting,
they all reacted the way you did.
And they were like, oh my God!
That was the beginning of our presentation. We could have left after that. We won.
We won. We won $1,000 that day for our business plan competition.
And so, right. And then we were 10th graders, and that was a long time ago. I'm not gonna tell you how long. So that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
It was a lot of money.
To be a 10th grader with $1,000 in your hand, I mean,
and we had it was like a huge check.
Check
like one of those phone board
so
checks.
we came running home like, Mommy, look! And she was like, give me that money. No, I'm trying.
She did not take our money. Thank you, Lord.
So nowadays, when we're on Zoom calls, when we're in meetings, what we like to say
this is a lot of years later. We say, I'm Bruce.
And I'm Glenn, and we're BruceGlen.
And everyone on the Zoom call, it doesn't
We
matter
could be
how
meeting
old
with
they are.
buyers. We could be meeting with, I think when we met first time on a Zoom call, we did it with you.
Yeah, we said, I'm Glenn, and we're BruceGlen. That's our thing that we do. So we encourage you to find your thing, find something that makes you special, find something that makes you stand out, find something that grabs people's attention the moment you meet them. Right? The first couple times you try to find something, you may be kind of imitating someone else. Yeah, and that's okay. That's okay, because you are finding your way. You're finding your rhythm, but once you do, you're gonna know, oh my goodness, this is it. It feels very natural to me, and it gets a reaction out of people. Like, I'm still surprised that people react the way that they do. I'm like, no one's tired of this yet, but they're not, because this is the way that God has wired us to be able to affect people. And part of that is rooted in something a gift that we really feel God has given us, which is a gift of joy. To be able to give joy to other people, even just by walking down the street. And I'm so aligned and in tune with the awareness of that gift inside of myself. I don't have to do like this. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to do the thing that you would think would make people. We could literally walk down the street together, just not even this, smiling, just walking down the street. And we'll have to plan in at least 10 to 15 extra minutes to get to where we're going, because we will most definitely be stopped. People will ask us questions. They will want to take pictures. People would say, you guys, you just make me so happy. We didn't tell them a joke. We're not doing anything outside of ourselves. We're just existing. We're just being. We're just walking in the purpose that God created us. Wow. Just so much joy. We get the point, Bruce. We get the point. So then on top of that, we're really funny. No. So I guess you could say our career started about 20 years ago, okay? And I know you're thinking, how? Did it start when you were 5? No, it didn't start when we were 5. We'll be 41 this year, actually, right? Yeah. Okay. I still can't believe it myself. I don't know. I didn't think that this is what 41 would be like, but whatever. You know what? The thing is, I didn't think this is what 41 would feel like, but maybe this is what 41 is supposed to feel like, huh? But in my mind, I just had something else imagined, for when I was like 10 or 12, thinking about a 40-year-old, right? So we're gonna. I would say our 41-year-old life looks a lot different than like our mother or father's 41-year-old life. It does. So that's another thing as well. So we're going to start off telling you a little bit about our story. So about 20 years ago, we were in college. We were in between our sophomore and junior year, right? And we had decided to go to this small liberal arts college, not the typical fashion school for someone who wants to be a fashion designer, which is something we're going to talk about, the winding road as opposed to the straight path. And also to lean into the winding road, because you're picking up tools to put on your belt along the way that the straight road does not offer. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you got to go off the beaten path, or the path that you think is the path towards my dreams, towards the things that I'm reaching for, in order to pick up skills, to pick up conversations and relationships. And I think what Bruce is talking about here is what we like to call the flow, right? Imagine yourself lying on in a river, a lazy river, right? I mean, there's a lot of those here in Florida, right? Because a lot of theme parks and
hotels off there.
A lot of hotels, they have the lazy river. You can just get on the inner tube, and the lazy river will take you exactly where you need to go. And before you know it, you're at the end of the path, right?
Right. So, I mean, that has a very negative connotation, lazy river.
Right.
You know what I mean? But now imagine, on the other hand, that this river is definitely flowing into a direction.
And you try to swim the opposite way, right? And the river's flowing and you're swimming, and the river's flowing and you're swimming. What's happening to you? You're going to get tired, it's resisting you, and you're going to be stuck in the same spot because you and the river are moving at the same pace, trying to go opposite directions, so that leaves you stuck. And a lot of times that's where we find ourselves in life, because we're swimming upstream, we're swimming against the current instead of just flowing with where it takes you, because flowing with where it takes you is going to take you exactly where you need to be.
Now, we're not saying that, you know, a change in direction or, you know, having to flow won't cause you a little bit of stress, okay? And you won't be a little confused sometimes, and you won't be sometimes, you will be sometimes wondering, is this going the way it's supposed to go? Am I in the right way? Oh,
and I think for us specifically, we got really comfortable with the change and the pivot that was outside of our control. Because a lot of times when things change and pivot, we'd be like, no, this is where I really, really wanted. I wanted to go through that door, but that door is closed. So maybe I need to just turn a little bit and walk through the door that is open. And maybe behind that door is the things I really needed and really was going to benefit me on my journey.
Now, I'm going to say this at the risk of next week something happening and I have to be okay. But we've gotten really comfortable with something happening and it's not exactly what I planned. I'll say, okay, well, I guess that must not be it.
Let me tell you, it's a life of much less stress. Right? When you can say, okay, it's not working out the way I thought it would, but maybe this is the way it's supposed to go. You're able to relinquish the stress and lift the burden off your shoulders.
And then in those cases, you can begin to see and sort of dissect the situation and say, okay, I'm now understanding why it had to be this way instead of that way.
So that happened for us in between our sophomore and junior year of college.
We're in college. I mean, we are killing it in college. I mean, we are like the #1 fashion students on the campus. And I'm not tooting my own horn.
But
no. But like we were really passionate.
The college professor is calling us on the weekend to give tours, you know. We started a fashion club. He was the president, I was the vice president.
Okay? We started it, so you know what I mean? I'm the president, okay?
We had the best parties, we had the best fashion shows. We were flying in talent from Miami to come perform. People were, it was just really amazing.
We hosted in a room like this, something called the Retro Revival, where we went to the thrift store, we got vintage clothing, and we were selling it with a fashion show, and people were bidding on it. We had so much fun, and we were really well known on our college campus.
But in between our sophomore and junior year, something wonderful and then something crazy happened. The wonderful thing was that our college professor had gotten hired with Beyonce's brand, House of Deréon. Okay? And so he said, I'm taking you two with me as interns to New York City. Can you get there for the summer to become interns?
We were so excited. Oh my gosh. But you know, we didn't have any money in college. We didn't have no money for the internship.
We ain't had no money growing up. We just ain't had no money. My gosh.
It's created a lot of trauma inside of me. You know what I mean? Anytime I've been here, go over a lower number, I was like, oh, go with the flow, go with the flow.
And it's not a low number that it's got to go below. It's like, oh,
you know, it's got to be low enough to make me nervous. You know what I mean? Anyway, so we get the internship and we go to New York that summer to work for Beyonce.
Yeah. House of Deréon, right?
Yeah. It was very interesting.
I'll tell you this much: we never actually met Beyonce except for one day. We worked more closely with her mother, Tina.
Yeah, who was a wonderful woman, a dream, but she wanted things a certain way. Okay, we're not gonna go too much into that today. What I will say,
you want the tea?
You want the tea?
You want the tea? You got a cup of coffee, right? Oh, you got a cup of tea. You want this tea too?
So well, the thing that happened was the college professor who brought us onto the job, he turned into a different person, a nightmare of a man. And he made us do his laundry. We cooked for him.
We cleaned for him. We waited at his house all day for the cable man. We helped. He moved apartments during the time we were interning. He took us from the office and said, "Come in his apartment." And we moved his apartment from the 5th floor to the terrace level, a penthouse level, because he got the new job. So now he's living by the terrace. Okay. And so we were in between our sophomore and junior year, so we may have been 20. We were about 20. We were about 20. And so it became the internship from you know where. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was really bad. From there, we started to understand that we could not go back to school because we didn't have any money. So this is the crazy thing that happened to us, because that's when we realized that we were going to have to drop out of school. So we dropped out of school. You said, "Oh my gosh." Yes. We didn't have any money to pay for the balance from last semester, and then now we had a new semester's balance, so we didn't have that money either. But the wonderful thing that happens, the umbrella company that housed House of Deréon, they decided to hire us. And so it says that, okay, turn it around. And so we got hired to work for the umbrella company. House of Deréon split from the umbrella company, and we became the designers, assistant designers for American Rag. I designed non-denim woven bottoms. And I designed tops and dresses. And so we started out with a salary of $25,000 each, right? Okay, and now in New York City, with the taxes, that becomes $16,000 for each of us. And so we both had $32,000 to live on, and we were bad at managing money. So we had one blow-up twin-size mattress. We were able to find one apartment way uptown. Took us about an hour to get to work every day, and we had the blow-up mattress, and that was our only furniture for a long time. And so that started our career in New York City, right? I mean, what I am grateful for is that although this twist and turn took us down a very winding road where we didn't know what was coming around the next bend, it created an opportunity for us to live in New York City and to begin our career. Although those times were hard, and a lot of times we didn't know where we were going to eat, a lot of times we would have like 4 cups of coffee during the day at our job, packed with sugar and milk for some nutrition. We would make a piece of toast bread, and we were so happy when someone brought something, communal to work. I brought bagels for everybody. oh, just one? Just one? Can I take what's left over home, please? The thing was that, so when we first started the job, it was a design job, and I studied fashion design, and so I had taken Adobe classes, which were like Illustrator and Photoshop and all those things. And we had entered in a job market at the time where everything was becoming digital. Everything was, becoming computerized, and people were no longer doing things by hand. And so I was the only person who knew these design suites, and Glenn did not know them. So for the first month and a half, Bruce did all my work for me. Oh. So we're in the office, and I'm doing his work and my work double time, but then we stayed to midnight every night for a month for me teaching Glenn how to do the work. And so after about a month, because we were there so late every day, the president of the company calls us in the office, and he says, "You two must really like working here because you're here all the time." And I'm like, "Not really, we're just trying to learn so we can keep our job." The point is that it does take hard work, to become who you were called to be. Because that day we got, I think, 47% raise. Ooh, yeah. Wow. So we went from 25 to 35 apiece. Right, it was 35. Something like that. So whatever, 47%. You do the math. $32,500. And so it was a winding road, but we learned a lot along the way. From there, we started working we stayed working with American Rag for a little while, and we made friends with a man named Jeffrey Tweedy. Jeffrey Tweedy was the vice president of Sean John. Okay, I know, okay. I almost didn't say his name, okay? And so we were really excited because we were like, okay, now is our time to elevate and go to a different place in our career. And we were doing juniors fashion, and we wanted to do grown people's fashion at that point. And so we left American Rag to work for Sean John. After a series of interviews, after a series of like projects and
Yeah.
stuff, they really
Meetings.
wanted to put us through the ringer to make sure that we could do what they were asking for. We get to work for Sean John. It's at a transitional point in its brand, the women's collection specifically. So they had a buyer who knew we were coming in. We discussed an entire plan to revamp the brand, to design collections more fitting of the Sean John girl. It was in trouble at that point. The sales weren't good. No one knew Sean John for the women's brand that they were trying to make it. They only knew about the men's stuff. So if you know anything about fashion, it takes usually kind of almost a whole year before what you actually design actually makes it onto the floor, onto the sales floor. So we had designed about 3, working on the 4th collection. And the woman who was the buyer, and we discussed this new turnaround for Sean John, she got a job offer. And so she left Macy's, and so now they bring in a new buyer for Sean John. And a new buyer looks at all the previous numbers before any of our collections even hit the floor and says, we got to get rid of this brand. So they get rid of Sean John Women's out of the store. They call us into the office, and the crazy thing is, the morning before I go in, I'm showering, and washing myself, and I hear, you gonna get fired today. And I said, Satan, I rebuke you in Jesus' name. And he goes to shower, and I hear the exact same thing. But we didn't tell each other that we heard that. It was this feeling that rose up inside of me. And there were no signs, like, we didn't know that the buyer had switched at this moment. It just seemed out of the blue. That's why I was like, as soon as the thought came in, I rejected it, right? You know, it's like, you're thinking of the worst, Bruce. No, don't think of the worst, you know what I mean? And so we get to the office, and they call us into the conference room, and I'm like, okay, it's a raise? You're gonna give me a raise this time? And they're like, said, we're letting you guys go. We can no longer support your salary because the line is gone. And at that point, we done had like 100% increase. Now, we had just left, a year ago, we had just left our job at American Rag. We had just gotten a raise, and then we said no, but we went to Sean John. They gave us even more on top of that, and now all of a sudden we done got a deluxe apartment in the sky. The apartment that we got, Sugar Ray Leonard's daughter used to have it. Okay, it had marble everywhere. It had jacuzzi, jet tub. It had a fireplace in the living room. Yeah, we moved on up, and the apartment was really probably too expensive for even the salary that we had moved on up to. But you know, we didn't manage money well, you know, and we're still working on it. We should have taken that financial plan. My God, that's always been a struggle. It's part of the trauma, right? The moment you get a little bit of money, you're ready to spend it. You know what I mean? I want to feel like I got money. I want to look around and, you know, I want to see some. I want to see the money in my marble. I want to spill the money in my jet pool, you know, when I'm sitting there taking a shabbat. A shower and a bath. Turn them both on at the same time because I got the money. You know what I mean? Run the water. You know? So we get laid off from Sean John, and we decide at that moment that now we're going to start our collection. But we needed to start with something that was manageable. And so we came up with the idea to do slapstick leather cups. You remember the slapsticks from the 90s? Yeah, just slap it and it wraps around your wrist. So we did those coated in leathers. Yeah, they're coming back again, right? We might do another one now. Exotic skins with Swarovski crystals all over them. Reptile, you know, all kinds. We had alligator, we had snake, we had stingray, all kinds of leathers. Exotic. And we went into the Swarovski crystal office in New York City, and we talked with this woman, and we really spent some time in it. We schmoozed her as much. I'd have oozed every bit of charm outside of me and said, can we have some crystals? And she said, we actually have some discontinued crystals in the warehouse. We got a whole box of them just sitting in the warehouse. And I said, how much that's going to cost us? She said, we're not going to do anything with them. We'll ship them to you for free. So we had, and then on top of that, the guy who was making the Swarovski crystals, he had shelves and shelves of leathers left over from clients. So he had like 1 or 2 skins of the most exotic and expensive and beautifully colored skins you could think of. 1 or 2 pieces. He's like, I was going to throw it away. So he gives it to us. If we had not been laid off, it would have never prompted us to go and start this business. Yeah. So this is what we're talking about. Come on now. This is what we're talking about, the winding road. But you know, at American Rag, when we were working there, at Sean John, we learned so much. And listen, in the midst of it, it's going to be a little bit jarring, you know, because it's something you didn't expect or something you didn't think should happen. But a lot of times it happens when you get too comfortable, right? It happens when you start to settle and think that this is what it is, and this is great. And it happens when you start feeling like you've made it or accomplished something. All of a sudden, something comes in to shake it up.
Sometimes that makes me a little angry, that truth.
Yeah,
okay,
me too.
You want to know the truth? That truth makes me angry sometimes.
Yes, I live with you every day, so I know the truth.
Because sometimes I want to be just like comfortable. Sometimes I want to just like say, okay, woo, we done made it to a plateau.
Finally,
give me a moment.
I can eat a little lobster,
Give me a
little
moment.
steak and shrimp every now and then. I can buy a pair of shoes every
We got
now
a
and
nice
then.
salary coming in.
Yes,
it's
it's
steady.
nice.
We ain't got to worry about when it's coming.
We ain't got to worry
We know
about
it's coming on the 1st and the 15th. It's okay. Oh, you gonna get your rent money? Don't worry, it's coming. I know exactly when it's coming. And then all of a sudden, boom!
Right? And now you're left out and you're like, I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know what's going to happen. I can't see down the road from now.
And it's you were resting in that comfortable place too long, and there is a purpose, there's a destiny, there's a higher plateau that I want to bring you to so that you can have your purpose be fulfilled.
Because you're never going to get to it or strive for it if you're too comfortable all the time, right?
Right.
And this is what I like about God. He will give you opportunities to rest and get re-energized. But once you're re-energized, the rest is like, come on.
That's when we begin to understand. We begin to understand those moments where we're experiencing ease, great ease, and great success. Is a moment where God is saying, okay, I'm just re-energizing.
Nowadays, I can almost clock it. Well, I'm like, ooh, everything is just, ooh, this is nice. And I said, Bruce, moments of discomfort. It's not that you're having a negative outlook or that you're thinking the shoe is going to drop at some point, but you just know that you are meant for more and that there's more to be attained to, so you can't stay where you are.
And the next level does require some level of discomfort in ourselves. A lot of times, not just externally, but internally.
So I'll tell you, like during this process, right up until this point, we had been laid off of Jean. We had started this new collection. We were designing, we were doing capsule collections. We were back and forth, you know, doing projects with Tommy Hilfiger. We designed a collection for Nicki Minaj at one point.
It was a lot of like motion, you know what I mean? It was a lot of like things from the outside that someone looking at would say, okay, there's things.
But for us, it was like a roller coaster because we would design a collection and we would get a $20,000 check and then there would be nothing for months. And then we would design a collection and then we would get a $10,000 check and there would be nothing for months.
There were days where we didn't have any money for any food while we were living in New York City, and we made good friends with a woman at White Castle. And this woman,
she would save all the receipts
from
with
other
the
customers.
surveys on it because she knew we were coming at night. And we would come into White Castle, she would give us the receipts, we would call and do a 15-minute survey just so we can get one White Castle burger.
Yeah.
And you know one White Castle burger ain't filling us up. So we called a couple times.
We had to call a couple times for the receipt. And then sometimes if we wanted to get fancy, I would go over to this Argentinian steak place and I would
get
say,
some chimichurri sauce.
I would say, can I buy a chimichurri sauce for, I think it was like $1 for their little, they had a little, and I would take that chimichurri sauce, put it on my burger so I could feel like I had some money. Okay, I need a little bit of something. You got to do what you got to do.
So after a while of living like this, you know, where we had a lot of money, we didn't have a lot of money, we said, Bruce, I think it's time for us to go back to work.
I want to tell them, and during this time, we had to take a job at Home Depot.
Okay, you want to tell that story?
Now, this was after we had worked as hair designer jobs for Sean John, but there was just no job, no fashion job in the market at this time. We were searching and searching and searching.
And I remember one of our mentors at that point sat us down and said, listen, you want to apply for Home Depot today?
And I was like, Home Depot?
And it's nothing wrong with working at Home Depot.
Home Depot got some good benefits, all that stuff. But I'm a fashion designer. I don't know nothing about what you offer at Home Depot.
So we applied at Home Depot and we got a job selling kitchen cabinets.
You know when?
Not even the cabinets.
We couldn't get a job anywhere.
We got a job selling kitchen cabinet refacing. You know what that is? You're going to keep your old boxes. And they're going to change
to
the
be
doors.
100% wood.
Because they couldn't reface plastic.
Right, and then we're going to just put we're going to put a laminate on it,
Anyway, oh my gosh, I'm having flashbacks. One day I'm working, I gave it all I could, you know. One day I'm working, and the thing was at Home Depot, one of the reasons why I like working there is because they had free food in the kitchen. So we got free food all the time. And it was a pack of ramen noodles or a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with the hardest bread that would break apart the moment you start to spread that peanut butter.
You know that bread that break apart when you spread peanut butter?
You know that bread ain't worth 2 cents.
Okay, so one day I'm standing there, I'm working, I got on my orange apron, I'm like, hey man, would you like some kitchen cabinet refacing? Out of the corner of my eye, I see people that used to work for me when I was at Sean John walking through the door. Oh. I ran as fast as I could. And I went into the light bulb closet. But now looking back, I'm thinking about I was the light in that closet.
Exactly, that's right.
I ran to the light bulb closet, I sat down on the floor, and I took off my orange apron and I sobbed. And I said, God, why? Why?
Don't you love me? Why would you do this to me?
Why? I went downstairs and I have taken my apron off just in case they saw me. I went downstairs. Look, my voice started shaking a little bit. I might have to move off this story. I ain't trying to cry in front of y'all. I went downstairs. I was so defeated and so dejected. And I remember that just this peace all of a sudden came upon me. Me asking God, why? And I didn't have an answer. He didn't say anything to me. He didn't say, Bruce, this is a learning lesson, my son. You'll be okay. Don't worry. You'll get past this. But this peace all of a sudden came upon me. And I said, you know what? Okay. All right. And I said, I'm still not going back up there for another 30 minutes. I feel okay, but I can't let them see me, and I can't see them no more. And so I went back up there in about 30 minutes, and I went up there and I made sure they were gone. I put back on my apron. 2 weeks from that.
And what'd you say after that? Ma'am, would you like any kitchen cabinet refacing?
Yeah. 2 weeks later from that, we didn't have to work at Home Depot anymore. We got hired at a new place. Okay, and he's going to tell you a little bit about that moment.
Yeah, so we were back and forth working at Home Depot, freelance job, no freelance job. It was quite a roller coaster, and we just didn't want to live like that anymore. So we decided that we were going to apply again for full-time jobs in the fashion industry.
So we were applying for probably, I don't know, 2 months. Mm-hmm. We were applying for 2 months. And then one day, Glenn put it. He did all.
When he says we were applying, he means Glenn was applying.
Yes,
because I'm the one who handles all that kind of stuff. Okay?
Right,
in
right.
this partnership.
Yes.
And so I applied for a bunch of jobs for him, for me, and then I woke up one morning and he had an interview with a menswear fashion company. I said, Bruce, wake up! You got to go today.
And I was like, I got an interview. What? You know, I didn't even realize he'd applied. And I go in for the interview. And the craziest thing happened during this whole process. So I'll tell you, so the first interview, I sit down and I'm talking with the woman and she's like, oh yeah, it sounds good. You know, you have a very extensive resume and you worked a lot of design, like head designer jobs. This job is for an assistant designer. And I said, it's okay, I don't care, I'll take it. I'll take the assistant designer role. And she was like, okay, all right. Well, we have a few other applicants to consider, but you know, we'll give you a call. And I feel like the interview went well. And then so about an hour later, after I leave the office, they call me and they say, we want you to come in for a second interview. And I'm like, okay, wow, okay, I guess that went really, really well.
We're like, oh, brother, no more White Castle, yay!
And so I go in for the second interview, I think maybe 2 days later, and they invite me in to sit in the lobby. I go and I sit down in the lobby. And on the table, there's a book written by Tommy Hilfiger, American Dreamer. And so I have the same book because Tommy signed it for me, my own personal book. And he wrote, Bruce, I don't know, keep dreaming, something in it. And so I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, they have the same book that I have. And I opened up the book, and inside the book is inscribed, Bruce, you are in the book. You are in this book. Bruce, it says, Tommy Hilfiger had autographed the book. And it says, in this book that's not mine, that's sitting in this office, Bruce, you are in the book. I'm like, what is going on?
Like my mind was like, I was like, wait, is this my book?
But he didn't have too much time to think about it because
As soon as that happened, all of a sudden,
Bruce, we'll see you now.
oh, okay. I go into the office. They offered me $10,000 more than I asked for because of my experience, or more than the job was listed for, because of my experience. And they said, what we're going to do is we're going to make you head designer, and the head designer who's already here, we're going to give her the title of creative director, because we really want you to come in and bring what you have to the role. And that
Wonderful.
All right, and so he gets a job. I'm still jobless.
So now I'm working this job. I'm designing, and I'm coming up with new things for the brand. I'm like,
And so I guess one of them had gotten a hold about social media because they said, Bruce, we see you're good with social media. Can you do some social media for the brand as well?
So they wanted me to do social media, email packages, all that. And I said, I tried to do it for a day or two. And after that, I said, I cannot do both. It's impossible. And they said, oh, well, and I said, it's okay, I can clone myself. I can clone myself.
And then the next day I show up.
And they meet Glenn, and we have like this lunchtime pizza party. And she was like, I see you two work together very well. She said, let's do this. And so she hired Glenn, and now Glenn is also working for the company. Right?
After about 6 months, I became the head of marketing and social for the company.
And I'm the head designer. And so now we see there's so much potential for us here. It's a small company. Glenn, we can rock this.
Yeah,
we're gonna rock this.
President and vice president in a couple years.
Like this before.
We started working really hard overtime for this company. We put our thing on the back burner. We were like, we're just going to be successful in the corporate fashion world, right?
This is paying our bills. This is making us money. We thought in our minds we were quitting. But we didn't realize this was a part of the winding road,
right?
We were like, I don't need to do my own thing. I just need to be okay. I just need not to have to go to White Castle with the receipts and get my food that way. I want to go out to eat at a restaurant every now and then.
I want to buy a shirt or shoes at least once a month.
You know what I mean? So these things were really important to me at that point in my life.
So we have been working there for almost 2 years, and I wake up one morning and I'm taking a shower. Oh, you know what it is going from the earlier story.
Oh boy.
And I hear, don't get comfortable.
And then, I wake up first because I have to be in the office before him. He had a very flexible schedule. He can go in and out as much as he wanted. I had to be there by a certain time. And I'm in the shower, and I'm showering, and I hear, don't get comfortable. And so
I come and I meet him for lunch that same day, and he comes down, and then we go, I think we're on our way to maybe Pret a Manger or somewhere.
And I said, bro, I feel like God spoke to me something in the shower today.
And I said, I feel like God spoke to me something in the shower too.
And I said, what did God say to you? And he said,
don't get comfortable. And at that moment,
I was upset. I was mad. And I was like, I'm finally comfortable.
I had been uncomfortable for so long, eating White Castle burgers, no money.
I'm starting to gain a little bit of weight back now because I'm not going hungry anymore. It was serious. It was very serious.
And so I'm like, God, how could you tell us not to get comfortable when we've been so uncomfortable for so long? But what we realized is that God was saying, don't stop dreaming.
I still have more for you. I have your purpose ahead of you. And I know that you come to a point where it seems easy. You feel like you plug right in. But this was never meant to be a stopping point. This was just meant for you to grab some tools to put in your tool belt and to keep going.
Don't get so comfortable with being comfortable that it stops you from dreaming.
It stops you from going after your purpose.
Because there's always more. There's always greater than where you are right now. Even if you can't see it. We couldn't see it because we had been doing BruceGlen for so many years without the level of success that we wanted to see. So when we got a position where we were making good money, we were living in New York City, we were able to work a job that
we were like, maybe this is it. And that's okay with me now because I'd rather just have this level of comfort than to be uncomfortable how we were all that time trying to make it, trying to do it, freelancing.
But God was like, oh, no, you don't. I know this is nice where you are, but there's more. You have to keep on
dreaming.
So we started dreaming again, and I said, okay, I'm going to step out on faith, but not too much, okay? Enough. How many people know that if you just do a little bit, it's enough?
Come on now.
If you just do a little bit, it's enough. Sometimes you don't have the boldness to take the full leap, but if you just take a little step, that's all you need, that mustard seed, right?
And so at that point, we started designing again, and we designed something that was easy and attainable for us, which was handbags.
And so we designed one handbag. It was called our grenade handbag. It was a very interesting design. We made it in a range of colors, and all of a sudden, people started to notice it. They started to write about it. They started to feature it in publications and things like that.
And we were so excited because it just created this buzz that we hadn't felt or had in a long time.
And so we decided we're going to make a full collection of handbags. But then that was 2019. And then that was going into 2020.
So we had designed this full collection with the idea that we were going to show it during Fashion Week in March of 2020. And you know what happened in March of 2020. Everything is shut down. We were in Florida actually, and we flew back to New York City, and it was like a ghost town. It was like a zombie apocalypse.
But it wasn't just that no one was on the street. You could actually feel
the fear
in
the
tangible
air, you know?
It was like you could feel the thickness of fear in the air. It was very foreboding. It was very overwhelming.
So now we had this collection that was pretty much complete, sitting at the sample makers. We owed them maybe about $2,000 or $3,000 more in order to take the collection, and we were like, we don't know, we're gonna have a job next week. We're gonna leave that collection there. Sorry, sir. I'm sorry, but we can't pick it up right now.
All of a sudden, we get a call from an old friend. She has an organization called Harlem's Fashion Road. And she said, I'm doing something on the internet. We're going to do Fashion Week on the internet, and we want to feature designers. Do you have a collection?
And we're like, yes, we have a collection, but it's in New Jersey, and we would have to go pick it up. She says, go get it, do whatever you have to do, shoot the collection, and participate in this event.
Winding roads. See, we had gotten that message not to be comfortable. Start creating again.
And we would have never started creating or had this collection ready if we hadn't listened to that message to not be comfortable.
And then we get to this point where we make a collection, and then it's the shutdown, the lockdown.
And we're like, what, did we waste a lot of money? Did we do this for no reason? What was the purpose of making a collection that now it's the pandemic and it's sitting over in New Jersey?
There's a lot of moments you can say,
but we have to get comfortable with saying, God, if it's not working this way, then you must have a greater plan than I can see.
Imagine how happy that makes God. You know what I mean? He's like, baby, this is for your own good. Like God's like, baby, you don't understand. I know you're crying.
Everything's going to work out for you. You don't even understand. It's coming.
You're like, no, please. I can't take it.
Very simple. Temper tantrum throwing toddlers, right? Oh my God.
But imagine a different disposition. He's like, you know, he's expecting you to say, ah, and you're like, no, it's okay, I trust you. If it's not that way, he's like, wait, hold on. That's my child. You the same child last time.
What does that denote? That denotes maturity, right? You're mature now, so you can handle the next level or the next thing that he wants to give you. But if you're, you understand what I'm saying, right?
My plans are to bless you. My plans are to bring you to a sure future, to give you hope, to take you to the next level of life, to bring you into purpose, to make you who you were called to be. That's my plan. And so sometimes it doesn't look like our plan. There's a scripture, if you will. Is that okay? Can I tell you a scripture?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That says there are three wills of God. There's the perfect will of God, the acceptable will of God, and the good will of God. And so the acceptable is that it's acceptable, right? We're not dead. It's acceptable. I can accept this.
I can still breathe. I can still walk. It's, you know, it's good. I can accept it.
The good one is that it's good to you. It's good to me. Anybody looking at it will say this is good. But this is something, I was talking to someone one day. We also minister too. So we used to lead a church of young artists back in the day. It feels like we had so many lives. But we still ministered. I was talking to this young person, and the revelation of this came to me as I was speaking to the person, not before then. This wasn't something that, you know, God showed me before then, before I was standing in person. So he was getting it, and I was getting it at the same time. I'm like, my goodness, this is good. Are you getting this? You know what I mean? But the perfect will of God is peculiar.
that means that it is not something
It's heavenly. It's something you can't really understand on this realm, which is why sometimes when our life goes array, according to us, it's God doing something.
We look at it, we're like, this is not good. And God's like, it's not good. It's perfect. It's peculiar. It's outside of your realm of thinking or even logic. In the scripture it says, my ways are higher, as high as the heavens are from the earth. So he's on a different plane of thinking. And to bring you into the perfection of his will, sometimes the road is very peculiar. It's winding and we don't understand.
But it's perfect. It's his way. You know, it's the way he wants it. It's the way he designed it. And to get to that place you think you should be, or the place where he said you should go, it's going to be a lot of winding roads that are peculiar to you, but perfect to him.
So we have this moment, we show our we go get the collection, we show the collection, and from that moment, our career took off in a way that we could not have dreamed.
I think within a few months we had major sales on our website. We were approached by Bloomingdale's. We were approached by Saks Fifth Avenue, and before you know it, we had our collection in all these places, and we were one of the most talked about black brands in the world.
We were getting grants and all these different things in the midst of all of this moment.
But it started because we realized, right? Not we realized, but really God spoke to us, and we were able to hear him to not be comfortable, to continue dreaming. Because up until that point, we have been working so hard. We have been trying to make our brand work. But in a moment where we decided that it wasn't going to work out, we went back to full-time work, right? And then all of a sudden, when he spoke to us, we were able to restart again, and that restarting is what led us to this point. And we're only at the beginning.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter where you are today or what the road has looked like to get here. Keep in mind that you have a purpose. And even when you think you've quit or you think you've gone off the road towards that purpose, you're still in a moment where you're picking up tools to put in your tool belt. You just don't know it. I can't tell you, like, in the moment, I'm like, oh, this is a piece of the winding road. I'm like, in those moments, I was like, oh, it's done. Oh, I quit. You know, all of these ideas that I had, that this is what's going on in this moment. You know, I'm thinking, I quit in this moment. It's done in this moment. They don't like my work in this moment. You know, all of these moments that I can mark by the ideas and the thoughts that I had of what was going on in those moments. God had another view of those moments. He was like, that's just the winding road. That's just me taking you through the course of life in order to get what you need to get to your purpose. I was thinking it was failure. I was thinking they didn't like it. I was thinking this, but God was like, no, it's just the winding road. I know
it's
you
just
don't
a
understand.
peculiar route to get you to where you were always destined to be.
So you have a purpose, you have a destiny. And what we want to emphasize is that it's not about making it, and that success is measured by how much we're walking in our purpose. But if you are walking in your purpose, you will have success, because God will platform someone walking in purpose every single time. He'll put you in the rooms you need to be. He'll put you in the places you need to be. He'll put you around the people that you need to be with in order to make that purpose come to pass.
And that concludes our presentation today. If you have any questions, please feel free.
Anybody have any questions?
I love it. Every day.
Thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
And also the fact that you guys give the glory to him, you know, with you, it's all because of him, and your business will continue to flourish.
Amen. I receive it.
Because he loves that, you know. As long as it's the center of it, he always opens doors.
Come on.
He always does that, and I enjoy it. I love it. I love it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Love it.
And I received that.
Yeah, he's very, very fit.
Y'all so long. Yeah.
Yes.
Y'all brought that energy. Y'all can be up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lie.
It's the end of the day, you know what I mean? So.
A little bit exhausted.
Yes, you guys shifted everything.
For real.
Yeah. If he can do it for you, he can do it for me.
Yes,
He can do it for us.
Because that's what, we are the testimony for him. We
Come
are
on.
the proof that he does exist.
Come on.
First lady. First lady.
Amen. I already knew it, you know? I already
First
know.
lady.
So,
I knew the way she was pouring into me. I'm like, ooh. I came to give, but I also came to give. I received it.
yes, yes.
Thank you guys so much for being here and for allowing us to share our story with you.
Thank you for sharing.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
It is truly.
Because it's definitely, it's rewarding to see like somebody that overcame. And people go through the same things, but they don't really know how to, they give up. They don't know
Yeah.
how to keep going. So to hear your testimony, it's like that reassurance that, okay, girl, yeah, you got this, keep going.
And, but the key to it is obedience.
Obedience, right?
So
Faith.
you listen,
Faith.
you know, you got the discernment that allows you to hear his voice.
Yeah.
Because he said, I know my children.
Come
Yes,
on.
You
yes.
recognize my voice when I speak.
Preach.
Come on.
So the fact that you guys have been obedient and you listen, that's how you, because I was a lukewarm Christian at once. Then I had to start changing my mindset and listening to him more.
Yeah.
So when he started pouring in me, he said, this is who you are. You are a daughter of the king, so you need
Yes.
to remain as so. Obedience is number one in his book.
Come on.
And recognize. I don't know, I always say I'm very introverted, but he chose me for a reason, and I don't know why. But I no longer fight it.
Yeah.
I allow it to flow. I only speak when he asks me to speak.
Come on. We're technically introverts too, believe it or not.
He always, I think he's awesome.
And you know, just being an introvert just means that, you know, because introverts can be extroverted, you know,
Yes.
and are called to be a lot of times, right, like you're saying. But you get your fuel and your recharging from being alone. That's just so an introvert can be extroverted, but it just, some people, extroverts, they recharge from being with people, but introverts recharge by being alone. So that's the main difference, because you know, you can kind of step into those roles as you're called to or as you're needed to, you know.
I love the fact that you guys are helping our youth. Because when I saw you guys and you guys were going on and on and on, I was like, they belong on the big screen. Like they belong on some big, you know, talking to crowds and, you know, and then when you said you were youth pastors, like you guys are working with the youth, I'm like, there you go. God is using you where he needs you. And you guys are just, you know, real inspiring. I mean, you inspired me that I feel like I related a lot by the ups and the downs, the highs and the low. I lived in New York, I did this, I did that, and, you know, I just turned 58, so I'm like close to 60, but I'm thinking about, like, I'm not done. Like,
Right.
There's so much that I want to do, and I have that plan, and it's gonna happen this year because I love bringing kids together and doing things for the kids, because my kids are in the industry, but bringing other kids together. So I came from LA, I've done events where I brought kids from the fashion industry, like modeling and singers and dancers and, you know, all of that, trying to bring them together under one roof. That's why we came here to this event, because I love what they're doing here, but it's only in Florida. So I'm like, we need this in LA. I want to bring this to LA, not me personally, but I want to help them to bring this event there, you know, because my husband's like, no, we don't want you doing any more events and stuff, but I can help bring, you know, like, help others and
You
inspire
could be the
others.
boots on the ground over there.
Exactly. So, but I just love you guys so much. You guys are definitely very inspiring to the youth, and just thank you for all that you guys are doing, just giving back to others, and how the message, like, how you're inspiring, like, women, you know, moms that need that inspiration too, because it's hard when our kids are in the industry. It's not easy, you know, doing that. It's a tough industry.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
Very good.
Okay,
He also teaches you in your story, you can have it all and do it all.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I was encouraged myself when the stuff that coming out of my mouth. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, yeah, I gotta remember.
Because when we get up there, we forget who he is because we think we made it on our own. We don't need him anymore. So he had to bring us down to the lowest to remind you. I am the one that put you there. So don't forget about that. So you can be wherever, but remember, I am the center for it.
Yeah.
I've been from New York, raised. I've been there, tried to do the industry, thinking I can do it, but yeah. So I feel the energy. I feel it.
I mean, to your point, unfortunately, and I can look at my past. It was the low points where I reconnected again. You know what I mean, and got deeper with them because there was no other option. You know, it's like,
Yes.
you know, so I can't fill the gap. I literally can't fill the gap with nothing else. Unfortunately, that's just how it works with us. That we have to get low in order to go back to him.
To build that relationship.
Yeah.
Because when people ask me, I don't do religion, I do relationship.
Come on.
So
Yeah.
this is what I go, I minister, I carry my jacket wherever I go. If I have to be guilty, I'm gonna die. Loving my God.
Yeah.
Because I am the living proof. In a lot of during COVID, I had a bad pregnancy, and my baby was 5 pounds 2 ounces, and we did it out together. They had to perform my C-section with a needle, something they have not done in years, just a butterfly needle.
Wow.
Yeah. And I said, and they're like, I can hear them talking and I'm praying. And my husband is changing upstairs and the guy said, are you sure? I said, yeah. I said, I'm not by myself. I didn't come in by myself. Never was. I said, we live it together. So I made it through. He made it through. So we call him Deacon Sebastian. Because he has to call him on his head.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, he's wonderful. I can talk about him all day. I never get tired. Yeah, love him.
That's going on a relationship. That's something that we often talk with like the young people about that we minister to, because a lot of them are artists. They're very eccentric in a lot of ways, you know, and oftentimes they don't feel comfortable in like a very traditional church setting. So we always teach them like it's about you and your personal relationship with God. It doesn't matter what anyone else has to say. It doesn't matter how anyone else looks at you or what they might say in judgment towards you. As long as you locked in with God, don't see God don't see them in their treatment of you as a reflection of God, because it's two totally separate things. God adores you. He loves you, and he wants to be in a relationship with you.
Amen.
And it's not a religious thing. He loves you so much that he died for you. Come on now, somebody.
No,
I ain't met nobody that died for you.
You know, I ain't doing that.
Yeah, I ain't met him either.
For my sins that I was going to commit, he already knew.
Yeah.
So, and that's why sometimes when people try to make you feel guilty, he already paid that price for me. Why would I feel guilty about that?
Yeah.
So I just have to pick up where I left off, and that's it all. Because he's not what people make him to be. He has a gobble ready to condemn you. No, never.
Yeah. His open arms to love you.
You know, he wants you to make sure that you acknowledge it. You know that you recognize it and come to him because he's always there.
Yeah.
So, like you just said, salvation is personal. So I really don't.
Thank you.
I always tell people sometimes when they would look at me and I said, I'm highly favored. It's not about you. Somebody about it else. My husband, my husband, even in the Bible it says if the right hand is bothering you, cut it off. I said, you're not gonna stop me. I said, I'm gonna block it. He said, we're married. I said, don't worry, when it comes to God, I'm gonna block it. My peace and my relationship. So, you know, it's that I do not compromise. I don't negotiate. That's the only thing that I have learned to know that keep me alive. I lost my mother when I was 15 in New York City. I raised myself. So he had, like you said, he had a purpose for me. And now I'm finding out why he put me there. You know, I help other women. I had a friend, she was in a very abusive relationship. I was, with the help of God, she was able to move out. And now she get to know Christ. And I'm working with her. So now I know my purpose.
Right.
He said, you are a daughter of the King. That's what my social media, my my platform, daughter of a king. And I have nothing but word of God. He's using me as his friend. I say use me. I don't want to be my own. I work with the corporate world. When they ask me, how do you see your future in the company? I said, if God's willing, they don't like it. I said, but my life is not my own. He can decide to remove me there tomorrow. I cannot make that decision. Before I could, because I thought I had it figured out, but I don't. Tell me, I ain't control of that.
You say, I'm totally surrendered. Amen.
Totally.
Yeah.
But I want to see more of you guys.
Yeah. Is all your info in here where we can?
Everything is under BruceGlen.
Like
So-
your social media and all
I think
that?
so, yeah.
Okay.
So it's in there. It's just our names together, Bruce, BruceGlen.
Okay.
All everything you can find, all our socials, all our website, everything.
Oh,
We are twins. Yeah.
Yeah.
He is. Oh, yeah, I am. My dad. What am I supposed to say you? I'm the older one because you're my son. Well, according to African culture, he's the oldest.
Really?
Because he came out last.
I
So
think it's
usually
Taiwo.
okay.
Taiwo and Kahinde.
The twin that is in the womb the longest is the oldest.
Really?
But in American culture, the twin that comes out
Yeah,
first is the oldest.
yeah,
Yeah, because they say the one that's in the womb pushed out the other one and said, go and check things out.
Should I come out? Should I come out?
That's what sure it's okay. You go first. I'm gonna stay in here if it ain't, okay?
No,
As if you have a choice.
especially
right?
in Nigeria, like twins are like really, like anytime we meet like a Nigerian, they be like, oh my goodness, God bless you. Like sometimes they want to give us money
Yeah.
because they see in the Nigerian culture
Yeah.
like twins are like really special.
Yeah, they're blessed.
And they have more twins than anywhere else in the world in Nigeria. Yeah.
Really?
They really believe it has to do with the pounded yam, the yam. Yes, some sort of enzymes in the yam. The fufu.
Yeah,
Is the fufu?
Yeah.
Fufu is the pounded yam. Okay. It's some sort of enzymes in the yams that they think is causing women to have multiple births.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You learn a lot about things, being twins. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we
That's
were
awesome.
between 1 and 4 days we were one person in the stomach. Between day 1 and day 4, we were identical twins. You're one person.
So it's
And then-
one egg and one sperm that's fertilized, and then like by day 4, it starts to split. Which is why we look like the same person, because at one point we were the same person.
Yes. Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that mind blowing?
And then
Even when I think about it now, I still be like, you me, I'm you.
Oh, wow.
It blows my mind. Like I can't think too much
And
about
the
it. 'cause I'm-
fraternal twins is 2 separate
Yeah.
eggs and 2 separate sperm in one.
Yeah.
Do they have their own placenta? They each have their own
Sometimes they
placenta.
do.
Yeah, sometimes they
yeah,
do,
depends
yeah.
on how it happens.
This is nice.
That's right. Isn't that something?
This is
It is.
incredible. Yeah.
Who used to play?
But maybe our mother.
Yeah, our
that's
mother.
probably the only person. But she could tell. No, you know what? We were very good kids. Like I'm saying that. Like how do you know? You know what I mean?
My mother would tell you. She would tell you that we were very good.
She was very strict.
We were afraid of getting in trouble.
Yeah, we just didn't want to get in trouble, so we never did.
Yeah, because even if I did something and I got in trouble, we both got whippings. And if he did something, he got in trouble. She didn't bother finding out who did
Because she's
what.
like, you should have stopped him from doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what she said.
It's two of you. That's what she always says. It's two of you. It's two of you. We were going to get our keys in the house. It's two of you. At least one of you should have remembered. It's two of you.
Nice. There's only two of you guys?
Well, we have an older sister.
Oh.
Yeah, but she's almost 10 years older than us.
So now she's kind of like a sister mom.
Yeah. But when we
Because
came
our
along,
mother's
she was
gone
the only
with the
child
Lord.
before we came along, and my mother left her father for our father, so it was like a whole world shift for her.
Yeah.
Because now she wasn't the center of attention, and her father wasn't in our household anymore, so she didn't like us very much when we were babies.
Been there.
I'm surprised we made it. Oh my God. She was like, oh, I didn't know if I ate drowned. I don't know about drowned, but she
She was very mean to us when we were kids.
Is she still mean to you?
No, we're best friends.
I was just on the
We were
phone
just
with her right
FaceTiming
before I
with her.
came here.
Yeah, we're really great friends.
Because I had an allergic reaction last night. I now know that I'm allergic to plantain or plantain. Yeah. You guys want to see the video from last night?
Look at this video.
So that means that you're allergic too?
I'm not. He ate all my plantain. After I had one bite and all of a sudden my tongue started itching, and that's how I know that something's happening.
Really?
This is my face last night, guys.
No, let's say that ain't you. Stop lying.
No.
That's not you.
That was me last night.
So you had Benadryl
Yeah.
or EpiPen?
Benadryl.
Okay, because I'm allergic to.
This looks like you should have the EpiPen, right?
I
This looks
do
like-
because I'm allergic to shellfish.
It was So
Yeah.
no, I knew like once I started itching, but the moment it starts happening, within 15 minutes my face looks like this.
That's right. Yeah. I
Isn't
stay
that
away from-
crazy?
I stay away from shellfish. I don't eat. Yeah. Yeah.
My face, around my eyes is still swollen. You can kind of see.
Yeah,
And like my
that's
nose and my
the
lips.
thing.
Well, we knew that he was allergic to bananas, but the thing is, we had I think if you cook it enough, the whatever protein that's in the bananas like cooks out.
I had plantain like maybe about 3 months ago because we made like that plantain lasagna.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
But I had a banana about a month ago, and this happened to me with the banana. But last night I didn't expect the plantain to do this.
But I think it just wasn't. It was to me. It was the most perfect cooked plantain that I had in a long time.
It was really good.
It was
That one
like
bite I
the
had.
right. It was
One bite I had was really good.
Yeah, and we looked at each other. We was like, "This is a good plantain."
Not knowing the after.
Next thing, so first thing, my tongue starts itching, and I'm like, okay, my tongue's itching. Lord, please don't let this develop into anything else. Then my legs started itching. I'm like, Bruce, it's happening, you know.
And
So
we
I
called,
Ubered Benadryl, but they were taking so long. I just got in the car and went to Walgreens and got Benadryl myself. So now I have, I think, 3 packs of Benadryl.
Yeah.
Then
Normally I
just gonna-
carry my EpiPen, but yeah.
I was calling around because I'm like, we're in a hotel full of kids. Somebody's got to have Benadryl in here. Somebody's got to have a Benadryl. But yeah, I got it. Once I go to sleep, once I take the Benadryl, go to sleep, you know. I mean, my eyes are still swollen. You probably can't tell now, but my eyes are swollen and my lips are swollen, and my forehead ridge is swollen a little bit too. But it ain't what it was last night. Come on, thank you, Lord.
We've come a mighty long way from last night.
I'm just glad like it didn't affect like my throat or my tongue, you know. It was just my face and all over my body. I had
I know.
hives everywhere.
I know the feeling. Wow.
All right, we ain't gonna keep y'all for too much longer, okay? We done. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, guys.
The right people. Oh my goodness. I am so glad.
Thank you. And I look forward to seeing all you do. All right.